In the previous video, we talked about how to add a brand new component into gitlab-ui Next using shadcn UI components, using shadcn registry. And today we're going to do something differently. We will make things a bit more interesting. And in this video, we are going to migrate an existing Vue2 component from the current gitlab-ui to gitlab-ui Next, to the new technology stack with Vue 3, TypeScript, shadcn instead of gitlab-ui, and different things. So in order to make things a bit interesting, we will migrate a not so simple component, yet not overcomplicated one, so that it would be overwhelming to migrate it. So the component we're going to deal with today is this message tool approval. This is the component that is shown in Duo Agent Platform when Agent Platform needs some permission from user to run a command, like let's say run a local command in CLI on the user's machine or something like this. It is pretty straightforward. It has two functions, so approve, and then we process the approval process, or deny, and then you can write a reason why you are denying this request, and the request is denied and recorded. Also, when you click deny, there is this text area form to write your the message why you deny things. So let's take a look at this component in the context of code, in the context of current gitlab-ui. The component, as I said, is not the simplest one, yet it's pretty straightforward nevertheless. So there are some things happening in the HTML, but what we're mostly interested in is the imports part. So there are two imports here. First one is translation. For the sake of time and efficiency, we're not going to deal with translate now. There are no translation utilities in the gitlab-ui Next now. Probably we'll just pull in Vue i18n package and translate with those tools just straight away, or we will just migrate this i18n utility from current gitlab-ui. It's not there yet. So for simplicity, we will just ignore the translations and we'll use the strings as they are. And then there are these components imported from gitlab-ui. As we mentioned in the previous video, gitlab-ui Next doesn't use gitlab-ui. It uses shadcn UI components in order to build the interfaces. So we will have to find the alternatives to these components. But to begin with, let's go to the gitlab-ui Next. So we have gitlab-ui on the right side and gitlab-ui Next on the left side. Let's go to gitlab-ui Next and do what we did in the previous video. We will create a placeholder for our component. For that, we are going to use yarn component, and technically let's request the help for this tool. And if you check this, you will see that you can run this command with the name of the component right away. In the previous video, we were running yarn component, and then we were asked for the name of the component. But we can do it yarn component and name the component. Let's give it the same name, message tool approval. Why not? Message tool approval. And now we are right away asked about the category of the component. So as we see here, the component isn't very complex. It doesn't rely on a lot of custom components. So it doesn't really fulfill the needs for the block type. It's also not the simple UI element like a button or text area. So it's not the UI category. So we just stick with the regular component category, means number 2, enter, and bang, everything has been generated. So a bunch of files have been generated for us, a registry entry. Again, we will talk about registry later. But we have this, let's take a look at this Vue component. So very standard Vue component. Tests, placeholder, yeah, everything is fine. Now, let's do another step of the preparation work. Let's take a look at this component. So we import 4 components from gitlab-ui: button, icon, text area, and form group. Let's start with button. Button I already have installed in GUI next from the previous video. Let's double check that. Go to src components UI. We will find button here. And it's, again, pretty simple component with some variants, right? The icon component we really don't need. Why so? If you take a look at the package JSON, so shadcn UI depends on Lucid font icon. What is the Lucid font icon? Lucid, yes, Lucid Dev. So it's the set of pretty well crafted icons. These are not GitLab SVGs. We can switch to GitLab SVGs, but it hasn't been done yet. So we just stick with default icons from Lucid font icon. And when you install shadcn view, it pulls in as dependency the Lucid, where is it? The Lucid view next. What is this package? This is the package that wraps Lucid Lucid icons into the view components. So technically it is the function of the icon component from GitLab UI. So we already have that. We don't need icon. Text area, we technically do need. So we do npx shadcn add text area. Yes, I've already tried adding this, but I think it wasn't here. Wait a second. So text area, yeah, the folder is empty. Now it will be populated with files from the registry. Again, I will remind you what happens now in the background. So when we ask shadcn view to add this component, it gets to the shadcn view registry, checks the dependencies for this particular component, not the whole shadcn UI, but just for this particular component, checks whether we already have those dependencies installed. If not, it adds those dependencies and pulls in the files for this particular component. It says the folder text area already exists. Yes, it does. We see it's empty. So would you like to overwrite? Yes, no problem. And it created two files, just like for button, index and button, index and text area. Index is pretty simple here. There are no variants for text area. Text area is a simple component. And that's pretty much it. This is the preparation that we have to do. Now, let's clear. Now, right, one more thing we have to do. We have to go to the current GUI and copy this whole folder. Copy. So for message tool approval, and then let's toss it somewhere in our repo. Let's toss it in the root of src folder. Paste. Now we have copy of this whole component with tests and stories. So spec, stories, view component. Wonderful. Now, what we will do next is we will use our Duo agent platform to help us migrate this component to the new Vue 3 component. So for that, let's just make Duo UI next full screen and go to our agentic Duo agent platform and craft our prompt. So help me migrate the message tool approval. Oops. Is it message tool approval? Where it is? Message tool approval, yes. Message tool approval component. Located at, and we copy the relative path to the input, so to the current Vue 2 component in the context of Duo UI next, the one that we just copied over from the current Duo UI. At src do chat, yes, which is written with Vue and JavaScript to the current tech stack. Now we will we give the AI tool the input data. Now we have to tell it, to give it some hint of what we expect. So there is a placeholder for this component, component in it's src registry default component message tool approval, copy relative path in blah blah blah, right? All of the needed shadcn components can be found in src components UI. If you need any new shadcn component, install it, or let's feel free to install it, but ask beforehand. Okay. We don't want AI to go completely nuts and install everything. Let's start. We have everything in place and see how far we can get with this and how quickly we can get there. We start. Now, there is one thing that I have to point out here. If you take a look, there is the included reference. And if we open it, oh, selected text. Well, I don't know. Okay. Lucid View next was mistakenly selected. That's not what we really needed. I think we need to fix the colors here. But anyway, there's also the user instructions. What are the user instructions? These are the instructions placed in chat rules MD file. Where can we find that? It is in .gitlab/duo/chat rules MD. This is the chat rules is the feature that was introduced in 18.3 for Duo Agent platform. And what it essentially does, it provides additional context to the AI tools. Sort of it primes it with the additional information that it will need on every prompt run. So that user instruction will be sent as the additional context for every starting prompt of your threads. So you start a new thread, you send a prompt, and it will be included as the additional context. And in our chat rules in Duo UI Next, we have this section migration rules, where I specify different rules that I want the migrations to follow in order to get as good result as possible. So as close to the end result that I want as possible. Now, this is interesting. Our Duo Agent platform is asking permission to run a command, and technically we see the component that we are about to migrate now. This is interesting. So what does it try to do? Find name components type. Okay. I'm not sure why do you need that, but sure, why not? I think it just failed. Okay. Let's approve this one. So it does run command find name components. Okay. Program find. Okay. Let's I will let it get into the rabbit hole here probably, but we'll see. I'm really interested in seeing how fast and how efficient this migration process will be. So npeaks shadcn view list. Okay. I don't think shadcn view has list command, or yeah, it doesn't have it. Probably I should just tell it. Okay, so it searches for button, available components. Okay, so it found things. Shadcn add text area. Oh, come on, there is the text area. The text area component from shadcn view already exists in src components UI text area. So we deny this request. It doesn't make sense. area, right? Let's see. Let me check the mock data. What mock data does it trying to check? Okay, I can see there is already a migrated version in the public registry. Okay. So let's see. Let's close this package.json and see what are the piles that are going to be edited here. This is an interesting experience. So it goes and starts with the view tool, right? Okay. I will save it. While it works with the test file, I will go and save this view file. There's a problem. There is a known glitch in how Duo Agent platform works. Sometimes it loses its own edits, so it doesn't save the file. It keeps the edits in memory, and then it just gets corrupted. So I prefer to, after it makes the change, I prefer to save the file so that it would have all of the changes available when it needs to get to them. I've also saved the just saved the test file that got a lot of changes. So all of the test suits were migrated. Oops. Also the stories, but the test file, there are TypeScript errors. We will deal with those later. No problem here. It's just a matter of specifying the view wrapper. Okay, so probably it tries to get the raw properties of the component, which is not a very good idea, but still, we will figure out what's going on there. Because this is right now it updates the MDX documentation. Keep in mind, MDX was not part of the original Duo UI component from the Vue 2, right? So, but it was part of the placeholder that we created. So, Duo Agent platform goes in and creates the MDX, the advanced documentation file for the Storybook 9 that we're using here, to be able to, well, actually, here's the problem that I already see here. So this should be in the add-on docs. I know this from the experience that Storybook blocks doesn't import anything in the Storybook 9. So anyway, there is another request, yarn test unit, and then it wants to test the newly created test file. Let's approve it. Okay. All right. Yarn install. This is the problem that we have when installing shadcn components. Sometimes, if all of the dependencies are already in your package.json, it just updates the yarn log file, and this means that the things in yarn log file are not necessarily up to date. So we have to run yarn install before we actually allow the commands to be run. Let's take a look here. Okay. So I'm not sure. Okay. Right. It ran the yarn install and now it's going to use the tests, right? Okay. Let's run the tests. And there is a failure, 2 failures. Okay. What are we going to do now? I wonder. Let's close MDX and the stories. I assume it will just work with the tests now. I need to fix the failing tests. Yes, that would be very practical. Again, the edit is there. Let's clear here and approve again. Another run of the tests. 1 test is failing. Okay, we reduced from 2 failing tests to 1 failing test. That's good. And then I hope it's going to be the final run of the spec. Bang, 24 tests passed. Let me double check. It looks like all of the tests from the original component have been migrated, which is mind-blowing. Without us like spending a lot of time just copy pasting and updating things, we just get this from our AI assistant. Now it wants yarn start. Okay, it wants to start the storybook. That's good. I'm not sure how it will communicate with the storybook now, but that's okay. Okay, this is great. So in the component, we now have message tool approval. This is our advanced MDX documentation with usage. Oh, there is the table for props and events messed up. But look at this. The component itself is here, right? And it gives so processing state, unknown tool. Okay, let's see the functionality. If we click approve, oops, where am I? If we click deny, okay, we can deny things. There is something wrong here, I guess. Not working very well. Let's take a look. So button. It doesn't, wait a second. Approve. Okay. This is an interesting thing. So it actually went on and benefited from using Story 9. Instead of, remember how it was here in the DUI, in the current DUI, you click and then there is this alert, right? Now, it's actually our agent platform made it the correct way. Instead of relying on the alert, it actually makes things through actions. This is very good, very good. So this means that approve tool message has been sent, has been emitted when we click approve. No arguments. If we click deny, we still have the deny, and we click deny, and deny tool emitted this message. This is actually a great thing. This is much better handling than just alerts popping up. This is how things should be done in the context of Storybook. Wonderful. Okay, I'm really impressed. Look at this. We have the component. Yes, the buttons look a bit different. The icons are not exactly the same. We can play with the icons and make them the same, but I actually think these buttons look exactly as they should be. The cross and the play button are conveying the idea. The colors, we will get to the theming in one of the next videos, but for now, I'm happy with this result. And it was done without me writing any code. Okay, here we actually can stop this execution because it doesn't know. Oh, actually, what if we stop here? Yeah, okay. We check the storybook. We in order for the agent platform to know that things worked, we have to send some code from the terminal, and stopping the storybook would be this signal. Now we get all of the summary of the migration, and think about this. We didn't write any code technically. We just did some boilerplates. We generated the component. We installed the components from shadcn view. We copied over view2 component from DUI to DUI next, and just used our agent platform to help us migrate the component. This is amazing. This is really, really mind-blowing. I think we can say that this migration process, it has a lot to improve here. We still need to deal with the TypeScript errors, for example, and probably update the as we saw in the storybook, there are some tables broken, but that's okay. We have like 98% of the migration done. We can manage those 2%, I think. Now, also the events work, the properties work. what's the point? How this process supports the new technology stack? Can be arguable, but I believe that new technologies are better understood by the AI tools, because especially when it comes to Vue 3, Vue 3 is like 5+ years old, right? So whenever you ask a Vue question, without specifying a version, AI tools will give you the response for Vue 3, because it assumes that Vue 3 is the Vue now. Also, TypeScript it doesn't only make things clearer for human beings to have clear understanding of the interface and possibilities of that or another component. It also makes things much easier to understand for the AI tools, much more predictable, and it gives some structure to the AI tool, which is great. So I do believe that the new technology stack, when it comes to migration, supports this migration, embraces the AI tools by providing these modern tools that AI is actually more capable with. So in this video, we migrated the component, we embraced the AI tools. I believe we significantly improved developer experience here. Just imagine like migrating this component manually. Even though this is not the most complex component, right? So that would take some time. We still have to double check the code. We still have to check the component. We still have to check the tests. Probably some repetition there and there has to be refactored. But that's okay. That's fine-tuning. We can do that. The main heavy lifting has been done for us by AI tools, and I believe the new technology stack is helping AI tools to do it in a more efficient way so that we can spend more time building fun things rather than tinkering with refactoring. See you in the next video.